Hi, welcome to Getting Real. I'm your host, Monique Hom. On this show, we share authentic, real, raw stories about success, what it takes to get there, not just the fancy pictures you see on social media, but the real deal. And today, I'm super excited to have with us a guest who has had some real, some raw, some really challenging experiences. And despite having things that would crush most people, have she's achieved incredible success. Hagir Elsheikh is our incredible guest. I met her recently at this conference in Denver, and I immediately fell in love with her. She's incredible, and you're going to love her. She's originally from Sudan, and her story, she grew up in really challenging circumstances in Sudan, has built an incredible life here in the US, overcoming cultural barriers, personal challenges, lots of trauma, torture, and the uncertainty of starting over. She's a nurse, she's an entrepreneur, author, advocate for women's empowerment, and her journey is a powerful reminder about resilience, and that it's not just about surviving, it's about thriving and creating a legacy that will inspire others. So, Hajir, welcome to the show. I'm so excited to have you.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for having me, Monique. And you are truly one of the highlight of the conference. I am honored and I'm blessed that my path met with yours. I am thankful for you having me and looking forward to a conversation with you and with your listeners.
Yay, I'm so glad you're here. So, Hajir, share a little bit. Can you share a little bit about your early life in Sudan and what ultimately brought you to the United States?
All right, so you only have a half an hour, an hour.
I know
I don't think we have enough
there's so much.
time, but just to give a brief of understanding of the culture that I grew up in. Sudan is was occupied by Great Britain, and from the day that it gained its independence, that was 1956. The whole country had not consecutively 4 years of democracy. So it's a coup followed by a short, yeah, followed
Wow.
by a short-lived democracy and then another military coup. So it's been an uphill battle for Sudanese people from 1956. And my father was basically like a physician assistant here with the American Standard. He was an activist. He's the first person who started the union in Sudan. And growing up, I am the youngest of 10 siblings. One passed away, so nine now, but seven boys and two sisters, and I'm the baby. So growing up in a big family, hearing about women's right and in a country that consider women as a third world country. But within these circumstances, there is so much that it doesn't even make sense. My mom was illiterate growing up. Her and my grandma waited until my father went into a medical trip. He used to be sent to several part of war zone in Sudan because of his activism. They were punishing him by sending him to areas that considered not safe, and he used it to educate people, to start union, to teach people about their right. So while he was doing this, my grandma, his mom, and my mom did the first worst experience that any child, I mean, any child in that region could experience. I became a victim of female genital mutilation. So at 5 years old, that was my very first, lesson that my body in Sudan is not mine, my decision is not mine, that I am here to please men, basically, and I I'm nothing. The first thing. The second is to lose trust in the most trustful, should be trustful people in your life. My mom and my grandma, who held me. And it's without going into details and graphics, like at that point, so much change inside of a child. Like you lose the safety, you lose the home that you thought that's the place you're supposed to feel safe at. And then my dad came, and of course he was, you know um just out of this world angry. But what's done is done. During that time, he made it his mission, him and my older brother, who's 20 years older than me, to teach me and my sister. We were both had went through this together. She was 4 years older than me. So they start teaching us about standing up for ourselves, and this is not right. My dad made it his mission to make sure that anything that the brothers, my siblings, do, I and my sister know that we can do and do it better. And with that mentality, I start fighting, start to learn. As a young child, you don't know why those things happen to you, but then I start to read. I love reading. I'm an avid reader. So I start to read, and I start to use my voice since I was little to write like poems that when you read them now you will cringe. But it was a way of expressing. So living in a dictatorship, uh, my whole life basically, but mainly my childhood, that had a major effect on who I am now. There is a lot I can go on, but I want to give you a chance to ask questions or to stop me. But this is part of the Sudanese culture. Women are raised and treated as not part of the society. You're supposed to raise your eyes, lower your eyes and lower your voice. You're supposed to dress a certain way. You're supposed to act a certain way. And my dad made sure that we don't do any of that. And I made sure I did not follow what they're telling me to do.
So I know, having heard your story, that because you were not willing to follow this traditional path, that
Yeah.
caused a lot of challenges for you.
Yes,
And
it did.
and so many that you ended up having to leave Sudan as a refugee. Can you share really briefly? I know we could go out. I mean, your story has so many twists and turns, but
Yeah.
a little bit about what happened and then what had you leave and then eventually come to the US as a refugee.
Yeah. Yeah, my life sometimes feel like it's not real. I That's why I start writing. I'm in the process of finishing a novel that I'm hoping it will become a movie at some point. Because it truly, some days I sit down and I feel like this is can be happening to one person. So after going through the female genital mutilation and I starting to speak up, we went through dictatorship, military dictatorship, a short-lived democracy, 1985, and then 1989, the coup that lasted 30 years, al-Bashir coup, um, came to power by force in 1989. And my first memories with that is I was supposed to go on a chess tournament. We were not rich by any mean, but my dad made sure that we try and practice everything. And I love chess. I love like mind games, and he taught us to do things differently. And I was ready to leave for a tournament to Germany, and the coup happened. So I hated the military government before I knew they were taking away our democracy. During that time, I became one of three female spokesperson for the Democratic Forefront from high school. For that, I was tortured, detained. Many people now know about the ghost houses, which is what's the name exactly says, a place that nobody know where it is. Now we know, but back then they cover your eyes literally with blindfold, throw you in the back of a pickup truck, take you to undisclosed location. You get beat, rape, assaulted, you name it. And especially for women, it wasn't something that, they don't just do it to beat you and control you, but they do it to make an example out of you. So other women don't feel the need to speak or become an activist. It's a form, a used form during the Al Bashir regime to control, especially activists, enforced disappearance. So many people went and never found. But for me personally, I was detained and tortured more than I can count for you right now. One specific incident, I was in high school. It was my almost my last year in high school. We were at a peaceful rally, a protest, and I was speaking. We got arrested, thrown in the backup of a big truck. I was beating from head to toe until like my whole body felt numb. And any prolonged torture, you feel, uh, you know, you you want to die. Like I truly felt like if I die, this will be better. But that is not possible. They continue beating you with anything, metal, wood, you name it. When they finish after like 10 hours, threw me in the back of a truck, took me to my house, and they didn't even stop. So they slowed down close to my house. The two men reached out in the back and threw me like a trash bag. For a whole month, I was laying on my stomach. I couldn't lay on my back. It's cut, bruised. Uh, to add to the insult, my high school principal uh, considered us threat, me and two other women, and he said we cannot attend the school, so he suspended me. But my dad, being the strong figure he was the first feminist and a strong man that is became my idol. He went to him and he said, she doesn't need to attend the school and she's going to pass and she's going to get to college. And he forced him to allow me to just sit for the test, which I did. I studied at home, came and passed my test, and went on to become an electrical engineer. And that's a whole other story why I did it. But during college, I continue my advocacy and I spoke. And if you can see, I don't know if your camera is can show, but the last time before I flee Sudan, I was hit with a metal, like a metal bar, a big one. It burst open my skull right here. There's a scar, and they shed my blood, which mean anyone can find me, they can kill me, and they won't suffer any consequences. My case was known with the UN because there were few female spokesperson at that time. So with the help of the UN, they helped me flee the country. I became a refugee, and that's also another struggle. I was nearly homeless, lived off dry bread and tea for almost 8 months. Um, it is still, that was, I'll say 99 and 2000s, but it is still so raw when I talk about it. But anyways, I survived and I was able to get a second chance in life and come to the United States. And that's the reason why I truly don't take anything for granted. It doesn't matter what happened to me, you will always see me smiling. I'm always seeing the glass half full, because what I've been through and how I survive it, I shouldn't be here, shouldn't be talking to you, let alone succeeding in business and having a whole, like, anything that I could do, I'm able to do it right now. That would not be possible at all. I'll be dead. If it's not by the government, it's by the stress, by the depression, the deep depression that I went through. And I'm just glad that I'm here.
I'm so glad you're here too. You've made
Thank
and
you.
you are making a huge difference in so many people's lives. And I know Because I know a little bit more about your story. I know as horrible as those things that you've shared, there's still more.
Oh,
Um,
yes, fortunately.
of life knocking you down, including, being in a domestic violence situation when you were here and pregnant, and you've been knocked down again and again, but you keep rising and rising higher and higher. So, what would you say have been the habits, the beliefs, the practices that have helped you get back up stronger each
Hmm,
time?
that's the loaded question because I am not going to lie and say, life is going to be amazing. Escaping from domestic violence, a lot of women think that once they are safe and they leave their abuser, life get better. But a statistic, we just had a young lady that killed, she's a doctor, got killed by her abusive husband 2 days ago. I'm actually having a show Sunday. We had a panel to speak about this. But the same thing, if you leave an abusive husband, you still have to practice safety. If you survive any kind of struggle, you have to practice safety. But to get to the point that you survive and you think about how you can continue and sustain it, you have to develop coping mechanism. You have to find the strengths. Some days, you probably read The Dreamer in Chain Shadow. Have you read Shadow,
I
the
believe
poem?
yeah.
So
By the
truly, some
way,
mornings.
Sear has this incredible book,
Oh,
Dreamer in
thank
Chains.
you.
It is, even if maybe you would think, because I was like, well, I'm not that into poetry, but I'm gonna buy it because I like her. And then I read it and I love the
Thank
book.
you.
Literally.
Thank
So
you. Thank
even if you
you.
don't think you're into poetry, buy it. You're gonna love it. It's
Thank
so
you.
powerful. So anyway, go ahead.
But
You were
it's I used it like the book and like my memoir. I think I shared this story with you. Like my memoir and my book, those are my coping mechanisms. So my advice and what keeps me going and what other listeners can benefit from. Um, while you're down, everything seems big, and your issues are always going to seem as unsolvable. You are going to feel like you are the only one struggling. And that's why I wrote about traveling. I wrote about talking to other people, knowing that someone is out there. That's why I started my talk show. That's why I wrote my book. That's why I'm speaking, about my story for two reasons. It's healing for me. It's part of my coping mechanism, and I'm going to share several coping mechanism. And you don't need one; you need more. You need a lot of coping mechanism. But talking to other people, sharing your story is not just about, you know, trying to help others. You're going to help yourself first, because if you don't address, if you don't talk about the issues that happen to you, you're going to stay in a denial phase, and you're not going to truly see how far you came. Like anytime I talk about me being hung from a tree, and in a ghost house, assaulted, beat, tortured, and that moment I wish I want to die, like I wanted to die. And looking at that and see how far I made it, and I survived so many knock down, and every time I feel like, I'm done and I'm good now, boom, it tell me you're mistaken. So talking about your story to others, first of all, they're going to share, they're going to open up, and you're going to realize that you're not alone. Hearing other people's stories and issues is going to make you realize that your problem sometimes might not be as big as others in comparison, right? And it's not like, oh, my issue's bigger than yours. No, it's not like that. It's the human, nature is, we like to belong, and we like to know that we're not the only one, right? So when you share, whether that being in poetry, writing, journaling, talk show, podcast, just having friends or a support group, that's going to help you develop those coping mechanism. Um, for me, like I said, when I start writing, it was just talking, putting my feelings in paper. And it doesn't have to be organized. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be an author to do that. I used to love getting in my car, putting my windows down. And when I was able to afford a car here in the US, and put the music and just blast the music and just feel the air. Something about that reassure me of the freedom that I didn't have back in Sudan. Getting to know people from other countries. And I am speaking to all the women, especially grew up here in the United States or any civilized society. Get to know other women or men for that matter who lived in a dictatorship, lived in a country that you don't know anything about. Because when you see how the world, the rest of the world, living, you will have a different appreciation and perspective to things that happening in your own life. And by any mean, I'm not saying you know, somebody's problem is bigger than somebody's another person's problem. I'm not saying you know, have that toxic positivity that my girls call me that I have, and just look at everything as positive. No, I'm saying just look at other people so you can see how they use, what coping mechanism they use, and see your issue in relation to that. um you know, when you climb like an obstacle or a hill and move forward, look back so you can see how far you came, but don't stay in that page. Like, keep turning the page, keep moving. And I remember a saying that really kept me going is, it doesn't matter what you do, keep moving. You probably heard it. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. If you can't crawl, just do whatever
Yeah.
you can do. Just don't sit still. And from the day that I understood the meaning of this, I just kept moving. And life knocked me. Anything that could happen to any person happened to me. And truly, you know, I lost faith in God for a whole year and a half. I was not in a speaking term. And I kept looking, no, seriously. And
I
he forgive me.
I don't blame you. You God put you through a lot, a
He
lot.
did. And I keep looking at the sky and saying, can you find somebody else to mess with? Like, I'm, I truly believe that I'm a good person. And I spend my entire life trying to help people. And you keep testing me and I keep passing and you keep knocking me. And I keep doing the right things. So why am I doing the right thing? And it's okay to question that. It's okay to question your faith if you believe in God or any other. It doesn't matter what religion you practice, but you can question things, and you will get back to your belief, whatever, if you do believe. But I'm spiritual. I believe in God, and he did show me that there is a way. He showed me, like, I got you, I knock you down, but I give you a cushion and I show you, I put people in your way to help you. And it doesn't matter, whatever make you wake up the next morning and see the sun and think that this is a new chance and a new day and a new opportunity. So
Mm,
mm,
beautiful. So I know, yeah, you've had a super challenging life, and you've also created a super amount of success. And you've been able to help an extraordinarily large number of people in many ways, through healthcare, through your center, through the your show, your books, and all the things. Um, so I bet that there's a woman who's listening to this and is thinking, and maybe they see you now in your office in your beautiful suit, and it's like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I guess she had it rough, but now look at her.
yeah.
She's got lots of money and lots of opportunity, and she's educated. And I don't know if I could do that. So, what's one piece of advice you'd give for a woman who feels like her dream is out of reach because of her current circumstances?
I actually did a whole video about this because somebody sent me a message and they said it's easy said than done. I said, you're speaking to the wrong person because nothing in my life says easy. Okay. And people will look at the end result and see the success or see, you smiling and, your life is all, they think your life is all that good, um, it wasn't like that always. And I could choose to be negative. I could choose to allow my circumstances to determine who I am right now. I could allow everything that happened to me to control my today and my future. But I decided that I wanted it to stay right where it belonged in the past. And I cannot say this enough. I say this all the time. Why? Because a lot of people think it is not a choice. It is a choice. And yes, it is not easy said than done because I did it and I am not a superwoman. I came here as a refugee. English was not my first language. I been through a lot. And it is not like I had, money inheritance or I had people in my way to help me. It's like build it from bones, like, and I have a poem on a book speak about that. I didn't come with anything, nothing, not even a map or a guide. And it is not easy. I will lie to you if I say building your life or you feel like you are down. uh I'm gonna say to you, oh, it's a piece of cake. No, it's not. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's hard and you have to put work. I have a whole video say that dream doesn't work until you do. You can sit there and dream all your day and night, but that dream is going to stay a dream unless you put the effort. I still put 20 hours work. I could rest and do nothing, right? I have enough to just live, but this is not what life is about. Not for you, not for other people. It's going to end. We're all going to die at some point, and I'm not saying it in a mean way or in a Debbie Downer way. We are going to die at one day. What do you
Life
want to
is
do?
a
This
mission.
is life, right? So, what do you want to live after you die? Do you want to leave a legacy of someone who try to the last day of their life, they live life to the fullest, right? I don't let bad things change my mood. I do get mad sometimes and I get upset. Don't get me wrong, I'm not always like happy, but I 90% of the time I choose happiness and I choose to keep pushing. And when I started my business in 2013, and you heard this, Monique, like the business consultant who sat down with me and he told me that you are going to file bankruptcy. This is like my very first business. I am good at my job. I'm a good nurse. They've been asking for me by name. And he said, you're going to file bankruptcy because you're a woman, you're a black woman, and you have an accent. And he said, I am not trying to be mean. Like he was an older white man. And he said, I'm just being realistic. And I could have just took his word for it. I'm a hard-headed person, but I also knew that, you don't know me, you don't know my story. So to any woman or man who's listening to us right now, you're the only one that know your story, and you're the only one that can decide what the next chapter should look like. You can decide how your story needs to end. And I mean it. I know that a lot of people suffer from depression that doesn't allow you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. And man, I been through days and years that I couldn't see not just the light at the end of the tunnel. I couldn't even see the tunnel itself. But remember, if you stand still, you're never going to see the tunnel, the ocean, or whatever. Just keep moving. It might feel like you are, just going around a circle, like, what's that animal? um Not the rabbit, the goodness,
Hamster.
help me out here. um like you go around and like as
Twisting your tail like a
yes, yes, you
squirrel.
just go and you feel like you wake up, you go and do the
Oh,
same thing, and you don't.
hamster on the
Hamster, thank you, look at us. Yeah. You feel like you're in a hamster, like you're a hamster, you're just going around and around and around, and there is no end of that, and there is no result. What is the point? But if you hook that hamster wheel to a generator, you might generate electricity. You know what I mean? So it's a choice. I do believe that happiness is a choice. Um, Getting out of any situation is a choice. And yes, depression is real, and some people might not be able to get up, but there is medication, there is therapy, there is group therapy, there are people. Listen, find anything that bring joy. And if there is nothing that brings joy, find something practical that can bring money. Because guess what? A lot of people don't agree, but money does bring you happiness. And I don't mean the material thing, because when you are stable financially, you will be able to help others.
Yeah.
And with my financial stability, when I started my business, I was able to do the things that I enjoy. I started a nonprofit to help women who's suffering from abuse, right? The domestic violence, Tomorrow Smile. I was able to afford paying for it, paying for that. I was able to do the things that I enjoy. So you can change your circumstances regardless of what situation you're in right now. It's whether you choose to stay, remain in it, or get out. The choice is yours, honestly.
I love that. Oh, I could go on forever.
I know.
So before we go to our end of show questions, or it's a trinity, which is a brag, a gratitude, and a desire, I want to ask, where can people who want to find out more about what you do and connect with you, how can they, where's the best place for them to go?
I am all over social media, LinkedIn. If you type the website Hagir Network, Hagir network.com. If you look me up, Hagir Elsheikh, you can find my website. We have a YouTube channel. We have the Hagir Show. We have Kareem's Mission, K Mission YouTube. I'm on Spotify, LinkedIn, Facebook, everywhere, right? So, uh, you know, just follow, support, share your life. If you need any advice, if you just want to ask a question, I have a segment that called Ask Hajir. And it is not by any mean because I know more than anyone, it's because I have a lot of experience in hardship and how to overcome them. So I might be able to help in that area. Business, I have several. I'm a serial entrepreneur and I love creating things. I love challenges. So I have experience with creating businesses and nonprofits. And I'm also a speaker. So I'm a motivational, transformational speaker. Um, my books are on Amazon. You can check them out. I have a novel that is going to be truly based on my life story, but fictional. So it's you're gonna love it, Monique. But there is a lot of ways you can communicate and connect. But the most important thing that I want you to get out of this, if there is nothing you got out of this conversation, that just keep moving and don't compare yourself to others. If you see a woman who's successful, you do not need to knock another woman down in order for you to climb on their shoulder. There is enough space for everyone. When you learn a trade or a secret or a way to succeed, share it with the people around you. And, the saying that pass the elevator, you know, pass the key. Don't
Yeah.
be a gatekeeper, and don't think about, oh, they did not give me a space. I need a place and a table. No, you need to build your own table. We don't
Amen.
sit as seats. That poem I read for you, go read Assertive Not Angry. We don't sit as seats. We don't sit at tables where we are feeling dismissed, right? So that's my advice.
So good. So good. Okay, so now it's time for our Trinity. What's one thing you're celebrating right now? What's a brag?
Kareem's mission. Ah, the
Tell us.
center.
Yeah, you were showing
I
me, you were walking me around. I was like, oh my God, it's huge. It's
You
so cool.
have to come. This is actually my office. Like, the
So
feeling,
tell them a
the
little bit
feeling.
about Karoom's mission. What is it? Like the one sentence.
One sentence of Kareem's mission. So Kareem is my son. He's on a spectrum, and I am a problem solver. I'm proud. And that's another thing for all the women out there. Don't let anyone dim your light. Be proud of your accomplishment. I don't, if somebody said, oh, you're full of it, you don't have to brag, like say, I'm better than anybody. But no, I work hard to get things done, and I'm proud of myself. And you should
No,
be too.
you should
But
brag. That's why I'm asking.
yes, we should
So your
brag.
you had
But
a son who
I,
was on diagnosed being on the autism spectrum,
yeah,
and you created Korean's mission.
yes.
So what,
There is
which
no
is
resources. There is no resources for autism in the area. Not a lot of resources. So I started Karimi's mission as three things: the nonprofit part, and then Karimi's mission Autism Community Center. And it was a dream, and dream do come true, guys. Like, this is a 4,200 square footage, and you real estate people know how big this space is. This is a rent. I took it from the college, and we work hard, painted, did everything. It is a community center. We have sensory rooms, gym, music rooms, art. Like, I am so proud of this, and it's not just my work. I have two amazing people here with me, and my two girls, and it is basically building things from the ground. I love building things and bragging about them in a good way. But now this
beautiful.
is a community resource for parent support, for training, for education. We do podcast here. We have our animation, our YouTube channel. Check that out. The songs, I write the lyrics. We do the beats here. We record it. I mean, we do everything in this center. We got this building in January. I don't own it, hoping I'm going to own one day, but this is rent for now. And we are here from January. We made a huge impact in the community, and we're going to continue making an impact. I also started K Mission TV, the YouTube channel, the Autism Care Solution, which is an LLC to train parents to take care of their kiddos. And we have the nonprofit organization. So I am like, this is my brag moment, like you said. And I want everyone to come and see the center. Check us out. Check us out online. Yes.
Well, brag. Well, brag. Well, what's one thing you're grateful for?
Everything, being alive, healthy, and my family, and just having amazing friends and people like you who restore truly, truly my hope in humanity. I am grateful for you.
Oh,
Seriously.
I'm grateful for you. So grateful to have met you. And last but not least, what is one desire you are calling?
My calling, or what did you say? Sorry.
What is one desire that you have?
Uh, to be able to travel, this is my personal desire. But the bigger thing is world peace, which is, people think it's oh, that's a big thing. No, it's just like, if you take care of your own household, the whole world is taken care. Solving hunger, solving war, It starts with you minding your own business and being nice and kind to each other, and our problem are solved. Seriously.
I love that. Well, so shall your desire be, or so much better than you can imagine. So,
Thank you. Thank you. I am truly, truly happy that I spent this time with you. And I hope I made a small impact on your listeners and just give
yeah.
them that, push to get up the next morning and feel like life is good. There is so much there to give and to gain.
Indeed. Hajir, thank you so much for sharing your story and your wisdom and for all you do. Your journey really is a reminder that resilience is something that we can cultivate, we can find no matter where we start. And for everyone listening, I hope that you take away this message that your current situation does not define your future. You do with the choices you made. If this episode inspires you, please share it with a friend who could use that boost of courage and hope. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode of Getting Real, the Real Estate Investor Goddess podcast. Thank you for getting real with us today. Let's get real, stay real, and keep stepping into the life that you were meant to live. Bye bye.